here, and I'm delighted to be starting this new series of weekly live chats, meetups, training, I guess. I'm really keen to share some ideas each week based on some of the things that we've been talking about over at Top Music on our blog, podcast, and YouTube channel. So let me know when you jump in. Now I'm using some software that allows me to stream to a few different places at the same time. But one of the things I can't see is if you send a comment during the live, I can't see your name. It just tells me there's a Facebook user. But it is possible for me to know who that person is. And I'll just put a message here, which should come through. If you go to chat.restream.io/FB, Facebook, you should be able to allow Restream to be able to see who you are, which would be great because then I'll be able to see your names and be able to chat with you rather than just saying, hey, Facebook user. So looks like we are live. And I'm just going to log in over on my other device here. I'm going to head to the piano shortly because I thought one of the things that we've been talking about at the moment this month and last month on the Top Music blog is all about lead sheets and playing by ear. We're working towards this month a real focus on playing by ear, particularly helping students play songs that they hear or that they want to learn from YouTube and things like that. And so a number of you have been enjoying my pop song solutions videos where I react to and then teach you what I would do to teach some of these pop songs. So they've been really great, and I'm looking forward to actually doing a live one of those with interested people towards the end of this month. That's going to be good. But today I thought we would unpack lead sheets, a chat about lead sheets. In fact, let me just pop up lead sheets, put up a little thing here. I think this will allow me to show. There we go. Oh no, it says something wrong there. Let's fix that up. All right, so I think I might jump over to the piano to show you some of my favorite resources that I use with regards to lead sheets. So let's jump over there now. And we'll see how everything's going. Let me know if you can see me. If you're over in Facebook, in the Facebook group, it'd be fantastic. Just let me know, just say hi. I can see there's a few faces, which is great. So, as I said, what I thought I'd discuss today is all about lead sheets and particularly some resources I use. So I've got my resources here. I want to share these with you. And you can ask any questions that you would like as you go. So with regard to lead sheets, what we're talking about is music that just has the chord symbols above. The first thing that comes to mind for most people when we talk about lead sheets is one of these big fat jazz books called The Real Book. Now this is the Real Pop book. So there is a pop version, but there's probably 3 or 4 real book, fake books, and they're all jazz lead sheets. Now, in this discussion, I'm not talking about jazz so much because for me, lead sheets, the real value in lead sheet learning is for students that are learning any type of music. It can be classical music, and I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite classical ones, classical lead sheets. It's 101 classical themes for buskers. I'll show you that one in a moment. But a lot of people, associate lead sheets with the jazz books and having to play jazz chords. It's not necessarily the case. So for example, this book here, let's go to what have I bookmarked in the past. Here we go. So this is, in fact, I can bring up my overhead camera. Let's go here. I can probably show you a bit better. There you go. So this is a Hal Leonard publication. And you can see it's written just like the fake books, if you're familiar with those, the jazz books. But this time, we're not talking jazz chords, we're just talking straight pop chords. And I think this is super valuable to explore with students because it means that particularly for students, maybe teenagers or adults or transfer students who are just learning to read, they can learn to just read right hand to get started and play chords in the left hand. It's a great skill to have. And it can be a great starter for learning more about chords and music reading. So this one just says, B minor left hand, and then F sharp 7, A major, E7, G, D, E minor 7, and F sharp 7. Now, what's a really great thing about that tune in regard to the timing of the right and left hand? Did you notice? Great example of a chord chart, a lead sheet that students can learn pretty easily because they get to play the chord first and then play the melody. So really, that's a great example of one. You're not going to find them all like that, unfortunately. What's another one I've marked in here that I've taught before? Oh, flash dance, what a feeling. And this one, interestingly, at the start, actually does give you some notation. Whoa, it's hard to do it backwards. There we go. So you can see it starts with notation, just to give you a bit of a flavour of how it actually needs to sound, and then goes on to the lead sheet after that. And then we're into lead sheet. Didn't expect to be playing flash dance at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, but there you go. So this is one resource that I think is great if you're talking lead sheets. This is the Real Pop book. It's from Hal Leonard, and it's pretty fat. There's a lot of pop songs in here. A lot, in fact, I don't even know, but it does include the Beatles and things like that. So any questions there, let me know. Hey, Catherine's here. Hey, Catherine. You must have clicked that link, I hope, because I can see your name, which is great. Lovely to have you with us. Anyone else that wants to ask questions or just say hi, be lovely to hear from you. Just, there's a link, chat.restream.io/FB. That will allow me to be able to see who's actually talking. But you can also just, if you want to just say hi, that's fine too. Oh, Catherine, you did do that. That's great. I'm glad it worked. Fantastic. All right, so let's go to the other end of the spectrum. This 101 classical themes for buskers. Who has used this? This is a great resource for any studio. I really rate it highly because what you get in here is all the classical music arranged as a lead sheet. So let's pick one. What have I marked here? Here we go, trumpet voluntary. So here's one that I used to love learning myself when I was a kid. Oh, there we go. Can everyone see that? How good's that? So you get just right hand melody, chord charts above for 101 classical themes. So let me see if I can do this one. So what have we got? Now, there's a number of different ways of playing lead sheets. Now, the first one, Hotel California, I put the chord in the left hand and then played the right hand melody. So simple chord in the left hand, right hand melody. As students get more advanced, and for most of you, I would imagine, you're probably hanging chords, as my friend Bradley Soash taught me to say, hanging chords under the melody in the right hand, which is the ultimate way to play a lead sheet because you get the richness of the chord in the right hand and the melody note at the top, in the case of this one. Let's choose another one. What's this one? So as you can see for this one, there's a D minor chord and I can put the melody note at the top in the right hand, and that makes it sounds much more interesting than this kind of thing or that even. But this is a great way to start because students will understand that the left hand's chords, right hand's got the melody. Eventually you want to move some of those chords into the right hand, and there's a number of drills you can use and ways to actually introduce that. We talk about it a lot in our Taking the Lead course, which was the course created by our amazing late friend Forrest Kinney. It's over in Top Music Pro membership at topmusicpro.com. That course comes with a 90-page download of examples, patterns. He takes some of these classical tunes like the Surprise Symphony or Happy Birthday, and he restyles it in all these different ways. He teaches about melody and accompaniment and chords and which hand to put it in. So if you've got any questions or you've ever wondered about how to either play these yourself, how to realize a lead sheet, or how to teach that to your students, then that is the ultimate resource. So this is fabulously fun. It's just great because the other thing about playing by lead sheets, I think one of the, here's another good one. Eine kleine Nachtmusik. There's one that students will know. And the other thing that lead sheets can teach students so much about music. One of the arguments that I often had with teachers when I started talking about being a bit more contemporary, being more creative, introducing more chords into teaching, was that teachers would say, well, that's great, but it's just, there's not enough time for it, or it's just kind of the junk food of music lessons. I want to stick to the important, serious stuff, which is reading, performance, interpretation. Reading, performance, interpretation. That's the most important thing. The fact is that teaching students to compose and understand chord progressions and harmony and style with different left-hand patterns, these are exercises and things that help students learn their reading better. It will help them play better. It will help them understand musical styles and genres better. It has so much importance in music teaching. It should never be relegated to a dessert that students get when they've done the real stuff. This is the real stuff. Students that can realize a lead sheet and understand that if it says F here in the left hand and C7, that they can then style it as different things. So if we wanted to style it, I know that an Alberti bass will make this sound like Mozart, as will most of you. But we could just as easily tango it or boogie it. So students exploring this kind of thing can get a huge appreciation for the importance of left hands and the styles and patterns that will come up in music. There is so much. I'm writing a book about it because there's so much to say about it. So anyway, there we go. That's one of my other favorite resources for lead sheets. Motif Music Studios, hello, thank you. Great topic for lead sheets, super special Forrest Kinney. Yes, I know, Forrest, just such an amazing guy, so sadly missed by all of us. And Catherine says, lead sheets allow a new kind of freedom to be creative, 100%. Let me get rid of this. I was literally just sitting here working out a lead sheet for a student, so I agree. Now, let me say something about that, Motif Music students. Sorry, I'm not sure of your first name. But I would never tend to go and take a piece of music away for a student and transcribe it or create a lead sheet from it and then bring it back to teach them. It might be perfect for you, for your student, but I want to give you another option in case you haven't thought of it. And that, it will take a little bit longer, but students will learn so much more by having you do that with them in a lesson. Even if you just do 4 bars at a time or something. If they can see your process of creating a lead sheet from a piece of music, and you could take any classical piece of music and do this yourself, really. You could take, what have we got in here? Humoresque, Clair de Lune. There's a Clair de Lune lead sheet. You could take it and help the student work out the chords and create a lead sheet from it. But do it in your lesson together, because they'll then learn the process. They'll learn what you're thinking. What key is it in? What chords sound good? What are the main chords in this key? Such a great learning experience. So just a suggestion for you. Of course, it may be perfect that you are doing it for your student because of time pressures or whatever else, but I just thought I'd mention that to those of you listening. Okay, so I've explored this one. This was the Real Pop book. which is pop song lead sheets, and this is my favourite classical one. This is the 101 Classical Hits for Buskers. I know that's, I'm not sure who publishes this, but the real pop book definitely came from Hal Leonard, and this one I think I got on YouTube maybe. So what's a couple of other ones? The other resource that you can use is any kind of guitar, and this one says ukulele, and I'm not playing a ukulele, no. But lead sheets are general, they work for any instrument. So let me see. What have we got? It's Karma Chameleon for ukulele. This is what it looks like. And you can see it's exactly the same, will my camera work? Exactly the same style of notation as any other lead sheet. So if you happen to have a guitar book or in this case, a ukulele book, you can most definitely use that as well. Here's Hallelujah in lead sheet form. So that's me playing it, triads in the left hand, melody in the right hand. But if I wanted to hang the chords, I could play it. And I'm just now, you can't see it in my left hand, I'm just playing octaves in the left hand now. So much fun to be had. And students can learn this kind of stuff pretty quickly if they get their head around some chord shapes. Now, if you've never taught students about chords, go and Google my BS method, big small method, don't worry. Big small method, just Google top music BS method, you'll be able to find that and download some resources about teaching it. It's really easy to teach students how to play any major or minor chord anywhere on the piano in 5 minutes. You can easily teach it. All right, what's another one? Oh, now this is one of my oldest. This is a book that I got when I was a child. I'll finish up with this one, I think will be my last one. 101 Hits for Buskers. Who has this one? This has been around for years. Obviously, that's the same series, the classical one. And I used to love playing this one because it had stuff that was around when I was younger. Although it's a little bit, I have to say, it's a bit out of fashion now, this particular one. So I'd get a more modern one if you're going to be using this with students. I'm just having a look at some of these names are like super old. I don't even know if I can find any that I really want to play. One day I'll fly away. There's one there. Eleanor Rigby. There's lots of Beatles in here. Yeah. Anyway. So that's one of the other resources, but this is a fantastic series. And look, I'll mention as well, and I'll come to questions in a second. So if you've got any questions, we'd love to answer them for you. One other resource that I do have that I'm really proud of on our site, and it's been one of the most popular things we've ever released, is a download. It's free. It's called My Top 10 Pop Songs for Piano Students. And in that download, you can get it at topmusic.co/pop. You can use, there's about 10 songs, as I said, and you can get the chord charts, the lyrics for the first verse, and 4 bars or thereabouts of introductory music of how I would sort of play it myself. But again, I tend to teach all of these things via lead sheets as much as possible, which is why I put that whole resource together, really. All right, let's hide this piano. It's getting a bit in the way. There we go. So let's have a look. And we've got some more questions. Yeah, more sustainable time-wise. That's the thing. So I was talking to one of our viewers, Motive Music Studio, about doing transcriptions or rearranging things with students rather than taking them away and simplifying them. Do them with your students because they learn from the process. And this person said it's also more sustainable time-wise. Absolutely. You don't want to be taking a pop song away and then spending, 2-3 hours of your time rearranging this so your student can play it. I mean, that's very generous of you if you have the time. If you enjoy doing it, go for your life. But I think most of us can't afford that time. And as I said earlier, most students will get far more value from actually seeing you do that in action with them in the lesson, rather than have you take it away and do it for them. What have we got? Love the ukulele ones. Ultimate Guitar. Oh yeah, Ultimate Guitar Chords is a great site. They added a paywall in the last few years, which was a little bit annoying. But I used to go to ultimateguitar.com all the time for lead sheets because it's a little bit different. It's not a true lead sheet in the sense that there's no music. It's just the lyrics and the chords above. But as a guitarist, I used to play a bit of guitar. That's really easy because you can sing along, and as long as you know the strumming pattern, or on the piano, the left hand pattern, you know how it's actually meant to feel, the time signature, the feel of the piece, you can play things without any music at all and just have the verse and the chords above. Fantastic. Well, are there any more questions? I can see there's a few people live now. Would love to hear from you, even if you just want to say a quick hello. As I say, I won't be able to see your name unless you click that link right back at the start of the chat. Let me put this in. Can someone tell me if when I type here, this is some new software for me, that you guys can see it, I think in Facebook, and I'm also streaming to YouTube, so anyone over there, let me know. I've just put a link there to that top 10 pop song download. Oh, I've got a hello from New Zealand, hi. Not sure your name, but thank you for being here today. And yeah, just as a reminder, today's session was just about some quick resources for lead sheet playing. So if you're just joining now, go back and watch the replay. I go through two of my very favorite resources for lead sheet work with students, and that's this one here, 101 Classical Themes for Buskers, and this Hal Leonard Real Pop book, which is just, Livin' La Vida Loca. Like, it's got some cool current stuff in it, I have to say. Oftentimes, the challenge with teaching students pop songs, of course, from notation, well, what is it? Who can tell me? What's the worst thing or the hardest thing about teaching students from notation? A pop song, that is. Let's see, who's first? Oh, hey, Matt, great to see you. Catherine, thank you for letting me know. And, oh, you can see it on YouTube. Thank you very much, brilliant. What's the worst thing about notated scores for pop songs? Keen to know if you've got an opinion on this. I've got a very strong opinion. Never matches the lyrics, yes. Never sounds quite right. That's true. I mean, it's always an arrangement, right? The thing is that a pop song is never meant to be played on a piano. Like, the accompaniment is, but the melody's not. And so when you get these downloads, it could be the best, most true to the original arrangement, but they're so impossible to play. And they're miserable to play. It takes so long, and you're counting 1E and a 2E, and there's ties everywhere. And so I really just encourage you not to teach pop songs that way. Now, if you do want to know how to teach pop songs, then if you haven't seen them, I've started a whole series of videos on my YouTube channel, it's on my social media, and we are compiling them and filing them in a searchable database inside our Top Music Pro membership. It's called Pop Song Solutions. And in those, I take teacher requests, I watch a pop song on YouTube, and then I work out how I would go about teaching it. They have been heaps of fun. I've done about 10 or 12 of them now. I've got another 20 or something that I've been given to do. If you want to see what my approach is and how to go about doing it, and if you're sick of trying to count and read pop song arrangements, then please find those videos, tune in. There's a full searchable database at topmusicpro.com if you want to, if you're not already a member of ours. And that's a great way to be able to quickly access them when a student comes in and says, oh, so you know that Meghan Trainor song? And you're like, I do know that song, and I can teach it to you because I'm there to help you. That's the whole goal of that. So you don't have to go, who's Meghan Trainor or Lana Del Rey? Who's Lana Del Rey? Anyway, but long story short, lead sheets are a great way to teach pop songs. Teach through the chords and get them to play the melody as they can hear it, as they know how it goes in their head. Alrighty, they can be super complex, though I do love some of the wonderful pop style ones from Lisa Donovan Lucas and Chrissy Ricker. Yeah, there's some great pop style composing going on. Chrissy Ricker is a great example of that. But then students always still want to play the actual pop songs. And so how do we go about doing that? Yeah, that's what I can talk more about. I'm going to wrap this up in just a minute. I wanted to keep it relatively short. I'd like to do this each week. What would you guys think? Just chatting 20 minutes or thereabouts, and we can do a different topic each week. I'd like to keep this topic going because during the month of May, we're going to be leading up to more talk about teaching pop music, teaching lead sheets, teaching by ear, some of these things that as classically trained teachers, many of us, as classically trained students, was just never exposed to, and I really want to help teachers with that. So if you are keen on that, give us a thumbs up. Would totally love to do that. Great groove, fun to be here. Fantastic. Well, thank you. I will make this a regular thing. We'll see how we go. Bring your friends along. We'd love to meet more people. And this will be, replay will be saved in the Piano Teachers for Beginner and Intermediate Students, one of our groups. So you can go back and watch it if you missed the start and you're just joining us now. Motif Music Studios, please tell me your name. I can't keep calling you this, and I'm going to look for you next time. Says it's a good you take on listening while you take on less desirable tasks. Well, I'm glad I can make your less desirable tasks a bit easier. Christine, thank you, appreciate that. All right, I will look forward to. Oh no, you're Amy. Okay, thank you. We've got a Christine and an Amy. You shouldn't, by the way, if you click that link, if I can't tell your name, so if you are a Facebook user, so Christine, for example, there's a link right back at the start of the chat. If you click that, you can tell Facebook to approve the connection to the software I'm using, and then your name will come up for future ones. Okay, everyone, it was great to hang out with you. Would love to know what topics you would like help with, so leave them as a comment under this video, and I will look forward to going through those. Any questions you've got, can be business related, can be pedagogy, pop, classical, advanced classical. I'm here to help as much as I possibly can. All right, have a great day, everybody. If you're over in Europe or the United States, have a great night and rest of the week. And I'll see you this same time next week. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining me.